punishments for individuals involved in this bribery scheme. To begin, former UT basketball and football players were treated much more lenient than Manny and Karam by the court system, and I think this is rightfully so. To begin, in 2015, so this was almost a decade after the scheme took place, most individuals involved have now received, and they have been sentenced after pleading guilty to conspiracy. So while I researched, I was able to find that in April 2015, Harvey, Quentin, and Adam were all sentenced to periods of probation, along with Anton, Keith, and Kasef also being sentenced to probationary periods. Per my research, I learned that prosecution suggested that these individuals should receive probation instead of doing time because these are nonviolent offenses and they also had clean records. I think that the prosecutor also took into consideration the young age of these individuals at the time they made these decisions because of how impressionable they were and maybe the atmosphere they belonged to and that they thrived in. So to continue, I actually have to share a personal story of mine, but this was actually shortly after Harvey was sentenced, so he's from Cleveland. I know that he applied for a job at AT&T, and at the time my dad was the manager there, and he did the interviews. So him and maybe 2 other individuals interviewed Harvey, and he was very qualified, but due to his involvement in the scandal, AT&T decided not to hire him. So again, I think this shows that young Black men are restricted opportunity due to their past history with the legal system, which leads me to my second point, that probationary periods last a lifetime for players involved. And this is not only true with individuals that are charged in situations that involve bribery scandals, but for all individuals that have a record, they're looked at completely differently, and it's really for no reason other than their record. So furthermore, in 2015, Manny was also sentenced. He got 6 years in prison and 3 years of supervised release. He would have to pay $700,000 in restitution, and he would also have to pay $700,000 to the federal government. The reason why I was not able to find a photo of Karam, I believe, is because he most certainly offered to testify against Manini, so he basically gave him up, so he was not charged. To keep going, Manini exploited athletes in order to make money gambling. Yet, athletes are exposed by college athletic programs all the time. The amazing talent and skill of these young men ultimately make someone huge amounts of cash, while they may have to face difficult decisions such as maybe being offered to participate in a gambling scheme in order to acquire some money.